Overland's work is so purpose-driven, but it can sometimes be unclear when you're a young professional, like how do they make this great work happen? And I think the human handprint has been a really good tool for those challenging moments in a project to have something to turn to and say, okay, here's how we've done it before, here's what we know works, here's the measurable impact of projects that we've done together before. So let's look at this as our compass forward.
You spend your life working as a professional to develop a certain set of skills and a certain perspective. And unless you can find a way to make that broader and share it with a lot of people, then it remains isolated within that individual. We think that the human handprint really unlocks this ability to draw a larger number of people into the conversation so that the project can benefit from the wisdom that each person brings into the mix.
The human handprint for me created a way of communicating that showed that we were open and that we were receiving and accepting of every idea, every inspiration, every aspiration that came our way.
The human handprint actually came about as a result of an on-site work session we did with the entire office. And what came back was really nothing having to do with architecture, but it was about addressing some of the world's greatest challenges, things that are universally important in the world today, that we were measurably addressing those through the work that we did. One of the groups came up with this idea of a handprint. And so we developed the handprint as a way for us to do that proactively, to step into the client's shoes, to understand what's important to them, and to measure it through the 5 digits of the hand. The first one that we always look at is the pointer. It's why, it's aspiration. Why are we doing this? It points the way. And so we're engaging our clients in those deeper questions of, why are you even taking on this project? Why is it important to you? And that helps us dig more deeply into the project so that our solutions bring their wisdom to the forefront. The middle finger, it's about inspiration or even provocation. Many of the projects that we do are both inspiring people to think differently, provoking at times people to think differently about the world in which they live, but also inspired by things that are important to the client, and we want to bring those into the equation as well. The ring finger is relationship, and it's making sure that we, in the projects that we do, attend to all of the various complex relationships between clients who may be complex groups, between those clients and their neighbors, clients and the world around them, with nature, and also really attentive to the relationships between the built environment that's around us. The pinky is what we call our pinky promise to the earth and one another. It's stewardship. It's caring for the earth, it's caring for our clients' resources, it's making sure that we steward well the many things that we've been given. And then the thumb is well-being. How are we doing? When we get to the end of a project, and even as we go through that project, making sure that there's a sense of well-being and joy in the work that we're doing.
The human handprint really invited a certain generosity of spirit. That was reflected in every focus group and every community meeting that we had with hundreds of stakeholders that participated in the initial phases and the middle phases of our design process. As soon as we began to dive into what each of those components were, I saw that this was a connection that would open up our human potential to this building. So the beauty of this design was not only that it met our building program that we prescribed, but that it went beyond because our programming grew as the dreams of this building grew. It made us more than we are. It made us greater than we were when we started the process.
So I think the handprint provides the parameters for which I'm able to design and be creative within. We apply the handprint to every project as a framework, and throughout the course of a project, throughout the life of the project, we talk about the embedded potential. And I think the handprint allows us to unpack that for each client type, for each location. It's very, very specific and tailored to each project.
We have had the remarkable opportunity and blessing to just be able to work with extraordinary people in a multitude of astoundingly beautiful places. And one of the things that I've come to realize is that we're able to take what we learn on a high-end hospitality project And then we're able to bring that sense of guest service and dignity and put it into a homeless shelter. And so what you find, it's just like society in general, which is that we actually really need each other in very deep and profound ways.
As I walk around the completed projects, I have great satisfaction in knowing that many, many hands touched it and brought themselves fully to it. And in a way, the flip side is how that project presents itself to the world. We've had so many people over the years come to us and say, I was so profoundly moved by the experience of being there that it transformed my life. I felt a sense of joy that I'd never felt before. We do know that when we create good places that really invest themselves in people's lives, that it can make a real difference in their lives.